I find ants very fascinating. See, ants may seem small and insignificant. I mean, individually, a tiny little ant doesn't really seem like it could do much. But, would you believe me if I told you that when they come together in large numbers, these minuscule creatures are capable of some of the most impressive feats? Collectively, ants are able to do things such as carry objects multiple times their own size and weight. Ants are able to wage war, conquer lands, and expand their territory. Ants are able to create giant colonies stretching miles with their sophisticated systems, with every ant working together towards their common goal of survival and reproduction. In this sense, the ants serve as a powerful reminder that through unity, we can achieve more than we ever could alone, and that our combined strength and impact can be much greater than the sum of our individual efforts. Now, that isn't to say that each of us individually aren't capable of great things as well. Great figures such as Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, or Malala, each and every one of them were responsible for some of the most influential times in human history. And yet, not a single one of them could have ever done it alone. They all had massive amounts of support behind them. Gandhi with his fellow Indians, Martin Luther King with his fellow members of the civil rights movement, and Malala with her fellow activists. I mention these movements specifically because they had every right to fail. Each of them were heavily discriminated against in their own lands, and yet through their sheer amount of members and unity amongst them, they were still able to prevail. It was not just because of the great individuals that I mentioned, but more so because of the individuals that didn't get mentioned. Each and every activist in those movements contributed to the overall change that they made. This shows that no matter how limited your abilities may be, no matter how small a part you play, through collective effort and unity, you can be part of something that can accomplish virtually anything. See, individually, we may each feel small and insignificant, like a tiny little ant or a single drop of water. But when we come together, we can achieve things that would otherwise be impossible for us to accomplish alone. By joining forces, we can pool our resources, skills, and talents, and achieve things greater than ourselves. Individually, we may only have the power of a single drop, but together, we have the force of an entire ocean.